Good evening and welcome to Offbeat. I am here this evening to make sure that we don't sound as artificial as the robot that potentially wrote my script. Don't worry, there won't be any more of that. But the reality is that I want you to think a little bit more about how we equip people to be personally present. We are investing so much money and time and conversation and far too many posts on LinkedIn about AI. Yet we are not investing enough in the people who have to communicate what AI is generating. I have a bit of a task for you. I'm going to ask you to please put your things down. I need your hands available, both of them. Thank you. I would like to know, out of 10, how good are you at your job? 9. 7 is banned. By the way, 7 is banned because it feels safe that I'm not arrogant, but don't undersell myself. So we've got, thank you, up to an 8. I loved it. Okay, right, now I want you to remember that number. That didn't happen by chance. That happened because of opportunity, experience, study, connection, conversation, feedback about what we need to work on and try and apply and improve and be measured at. And you have reached a point that you can confidently put your hands in the air like you just don't care and throw me a 10, a 9, an 8, and an adjusted 7. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. How good are you at articulating, communicating, and influencing just how much you know, how well you know it, to an audience to get them engaged and connected with a project that you're working on? Something that you need buy-in from SLT with, like, please, can you invest? But that ability to take what you know and communicate it in an authentic way that at the end of it, it sounds as good as we thought it did in our head. What's that number now? Where are we? Okay, we've gone from 8s, we've gone to 5s, we've gone 6s. I had to do it. Now, the thing is, if your number didn't change, that's okay. Probably when I mentioned people who are technically brilliant, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, yet the ability to communicate what they know drops to a 4, you probably thought of some people in your team. You might be thinking of yourself. Now, the risk is that as soon as AI comes in and we start using it to craft the most beautiful script you've ever seen in your life, the gamma presentation that can be built in seconds, and now to a point that our emails are pre-drafted for us, and they have far more adjectives than I ever thought could be included in an email, and they are so elaborate that our AI BS radar goes off. And then suddenly, we get this version of this person who's so well-structured. And then we ask them to come to all hands and present a project that they're working on. Or we ask them to go to a client-facing meeting and say, please pitch this new whole language and thing we're building in the background. And suddenly, the version that they've created on emails, on decks, on slides, on communications doesn't show up. The nerves start kicking in, the tremble in the voice, the going off on tangents, all these things that start to create noise in our heads start to take over. And that's often because we are accelerating the implementation of AI at a slower rate than what we are using the time to grow the people's skills to communicate that. So if you are thinking that there are people in your team, we need to make sure that we accelerate and upskill them in communication as quickly as we do with technology. Because the risk is our businesses are going to sound so good on paper, but actually become more artificial in person. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, Bonita, that sounds amazing, but budgets are being cut and these things are expensive. I get it. I know, I'm on the other side. People are telling me that all the time. So let me ask, does anyone here, companies offer personal L&D budgets, individual L&D budgets? Yes? Do you have an L&D budget to be utilized for upskilling and development? Yes? Right. Has every single person in your business used 100% of their individual L&D budget? Often no. So we need to become creative with how we upskill people by creating an environment where we become knowledge sharers and not knowledge holders, and encourage people to stretch and communicate in ways that remain authentic. Not the polished TED talker, not the scripted AI, but just being okay with who I am, what I know, and all right with delivering it, where my words speak louder than my ums, ahs, like literally, basically, obviously's. So we can do things like be creative and take individual L&D budgets and group people together, from engineers to sales, and get them to come together and learn collaboratively about something they want to apply in every single daily conversation, because guess what? We talk every day. So there are plenty of times to practice. So whoever has the clicker. Oh, thank you. There we go. There's one thing I want you to remember is that this is not about being anti-AI. Use it. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I don't know how I actually used to live without it. But we have to remember that we have to accelerate our people's ability to communicate these great ideas at the same rate that we are developing the technology behind it. So although AI writes the words, our people still have to deliver it.